Hello, my name is Raihan. I work in NIS-IB Astana as an English and TOK teacher, and today we will talk about ways to usage of the future forms and different ways to talk about future. This lesson was conducted for the 8th grade students to introduce the right usage of all the future forms. The students think that they can use it correctly, but when they start speaking, they are confused with the usage. And first half of the lesson was mainly focused on grammar and the right forms of different future tenses and the ways to talk about future. And it was done through examples given from students. The second half of the lesson was a roundtable discussion, and the materials and resources, everything was provided for students by teacher, but also students had an access for the internet and they could do their own research according to the topic provided. And the students had time to read the given materials and for the research to make up their speech considering the grammar rules. So during their speech they had to use the different forms of future and in the correct usage. In the end of the lesson they had to provide or write down 5 sentences about their own plans and their own ideas what they will do for the future. So to start the lesson with a warm-up exercise, or let's talk about future, your plans and prospects. So for today, for tomorrow, for weekends, plans for next week or next month, even next year, and even talking about the long-term plans of after graduating school, which university they would like to choose, or after graduating university, what kind of profession or job they would like to maintain. So with the examples that students give, I can show the examples that we came up with our students. For example, they were talking about today I leave the school at 4 p.m. I'm meeting my friends tonight. We are going to start a new project. I will go to the cinema this weekend. The team will have finished the school by September 2015. More of these students will have finished the school by September 2015. Okay, so after this, of course, answers that students provided, they were confused in the what tense to use in each situation. So we came up together to the right answers. But anyway, as a teacher, you have to provide with specific examples and the structure of each tense usage and why it is used like this. For example, if we talk about present simple, I leave the school at 4 p.m. So the lesson was conducted in the morning, and 4 p.m. is a future for them because that time hasn't started yet. But they still talk about it in present simple. Why do they do so? For example, the usage of present simple to talk about future here is that according to the timetable, if something happens regularly and it is dependent on timetable, we can use present simple to talk about some events that will happen in the future without using will or any other form. For example, she arrives at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So she's actually coming by train, and we know that on her train ticket it is written that the train will be in Astana or in any other place of the city at 2 p.m. So here again, we use present simple to talk about future, even though it is not happening right now. Yes. So next example is present continuous usage in future. I am meeting my friends tonight. So again, this sentence was said in the morning time, and evening is a still future for that person. And if that person had a special arrangement, so he agreed to meet, and he is definitely sure, if everything will be okay, of course, that he is going, he is seeing his friend and he's meeting his friend tonight, we can use present continuous here. So with arranged meetings and plans that were that are not fixed by timetable or any other institution, but by people who are involved to this event, then we can easily use present continuous. The form of to be going to is very close to the form of present continuous, but if in present continuous we are more definite and we agreed that this event will happen, the to be going to usage form is more about the wishes and plans, ideas that you would like to accomplish. So here we are going to start a new project. You are not 100% sure that you will start it or with whom exactly you are going to start the project and exact dates when you will start. It is like some kind of a wish or dream or some plans that you are going to establish. So it is the first step. So the idea comes, and then when everything is fixed and arranged, you can talk about this project in the present continuous form. The future simple is very, commonly used, and we use will form with verb when we talk about instant decisions. For example, you go to the restaurant and the waiter asks, like, would you like to make an order? And you give an answer, for example, I will have fish, yeah? So this is like instant decision that you made at that specific moment. Or for example, you are at home, like several people at home, and the phone is ringing and you say, I will pick up. So again, some kind of stimuli should be done before, and then you give it's your reaction to the situation that is happening. For example, here I will go to the cinema this weekend. So for example, your friend asked, what are your plans for the weekend? So you're giving the decision that you have made. And future perfect, it is again about the plans that you are talking in the future, but here you are more obliged to give the specific date when you have to do it. Yeah. And for example, this school will be finished by September 2015. It means that according to the plan or contract, the builders and the building company should finish the building of the construction of the new building by this time, because it was written and it was agreed like that. And we talk about in future perfect, we talk about future as if it was accomplished and it has been finished by that time. The main difference here, you should knew that the usage of by, so you should specifically indicate the time. For example, if this is 8th grade student and they know that they are going to graduate from school after 4 years, so they can easily talk about it in future perfect form and say that we will have graduated from school by June 2018, for example. Yes. So together with the students, after when they give all these kind of examples, again, you should make sure that they understand the clear usage, why we have different forms of future, and in what cases it's better to use which form. If you feel that students are still confused, you can bring additional worksheets or exercises to practice it. So, but the main focus of this lesson is a roundtable discussion. So, in a roundtable discussion, students will be talking about, again, future plans and prospects, but not only about themselves. This is concerning the country. So, they are talking about Kazakhstan, and they will be divided into groups of ministries. So, each group will have a name, and they will have a special signs, even labels, that they are Ministry of Education and Science, or Ministry of Labor and Social Protection, Ministry of Economic Development and Trade, or the Agency for Civil Service Affairs. So when they have their special functions and they are aware of what they are responsible for, teacher will provide each group with the resources, materials, and also provide them with the laptop within the access to the internet, so they can make their own search. So what is the purpose here? You give like 15 or 20 minutes depending on how much time the first half of the lesson took from you. You give them time to to get prepared, and each member of the group should at least talk for 1 or 2 minutes. Again, depends on how much time do you have, and you should give clear instructions that they are talking about the plans of their own ministry. So they have materials about facts, what they are doing right now, and some of them maybe even find resources where actually it is written what is the plan of this ministry exactly. The main purpose is that while they are speaking, they are using the future forms and they are using it correctly. So then I gave some resources. They are given time to get prepared, and after that you can also set the task as if you are given or there is left over from the budget, like I don't know, $5 million or anything like that, and so as a group of deputies and in the ministry, you have to decide which ministry is going to take this budget, and for that you have to defend that exactly your ministry needs this money, and what are your plans, how you are going to use them, the sum given. And here then I just provided some resources for each ministry, for economy, for Ministry of Education and Science, some specific facts and things that are being done for Ministry of Labor and Social Protection, for Agency of Service Affairs, and this is the working time. So they are looking at the resources, then they are getting prepared for the roundtable discussion. So if we come back to ministries, we can look at some information provided. For example, the Kazakhstan economy is extremely well endowed with large tracts of land, rich reserves of coal, oil and rare metals. So here it is more about facts of in what state is the situation in Kazakhstan. For example, like other countries of former USSR, Kazakhstan faced serious economic dislocation after 1991, but after that it provides the GDP which was in 1991, then 92, then 93, and 94. Even that time we can see that the percentage is going higher and higher. Then in 97 it increased again for 1.7 percentage, but in 1998 we remember, because of the crisis, financial crisis, it declined for 1.9%, but then in 1999 it again rose for 2.7%, and in 2000 again we can see the growth, and again so it's all the facts how the stability of the country or the rise and falls of economic status. So here it's only the facts. It means that students of this group need to make additional research to see what is happening right now and what exactly this ministry is responsible for, and what can they do with the additional budget provided. With the Ministry of Education and Science, it is more clear that they are responsible for the development of education and science in the country, and it is taken some some facts from the program of 2020, which was the declaration of from 2001 till 2020, what exact facts has been done, and what is being taken as action right now. For example, in 2013 and 14, so interactive forms of learning in learning process of secondary schools, special training programs, and online learning. And we can see that it is being done because this lesson is provided like online. And analysis of curricula, textbooks, and teaching materials of history of Kazakhstan. We know that there is a big emphasis and focus is being done to the history of Kazakhstan, that is actually was just rewritten from the Russian historic textbooks right now. So scholars and historians are trying to get primary and secondary sources to analyze and also update all the textbooks and curricula on history of Kazakhstan, and also made proposals to introduce a secondary and technical and professional institutions of higher education required courses. So there are some courses that are being underestimated. So for example, fundamentals of occupational or personal and social success, local history, Kazakhstan's law, this kind of professions to be provided. So here you can see that modernization of educational system is going in three main areas. So it is optimization of educational institution, modernization of educational process, improving the efficiency and accessibility of educational service. We know that in Kazakhstan there are now more than 146 universities, and not all of them can provide adequate quality of producing specialists. So there is a need for special document to be as a guide for graduates. Where do they go, and after graduating school, what profession to choose, what is the most demanded ones, and that is actually going to be after graduating university that they will easily find well-paid workplaces, and employment will also get an increase, and unemployment will be reduced as much as possible. So again, the Ministry of Education and Science, they need to looking at the program, for example, to 2020, they can decide which steps they are going to maintain for the upcoming future. Okay, the group of Ministry of Labor and Social Protection. So actually they are very closely connected with the education and science, because here we're talking about the employment and also social protection of the citizens of Kazakhstan. For example, here some facts of that. Until December 1st, 2012, to study the organization since 2013, a system of universal education workers basic labor laws of Republic of Kazakhstan. So actually this information is a little bit needs to be updated, because it is talking about 2013, and the last year it was, how to say, more appropriate to develop a draft publication of dissemination, including through the internet, for example, official sites of state organs, a series of unified national guides to key positions of labor code and other legal acts regulating labor relations. Even this year, there was a law, for example, conducting about labor protection of children who are under 18 and who work, that they will not have, how to say, testing period, and they will, if they are working, what amount of money or salary they have to be provided. So new branches of law are actually coming on to work. So roadmap and also the labor code here, what educational institutions for training. There should be no gap between the professional and the educational standards. Again, this is the connection to the Ministry of Education and Science. This group also needs to get additional information is actually provided in the resource. They need to look for that and also to do some research. For example, Agency for Civil Service Affairs. Here, mainly they're talking about the standards of housing, affordability and comfort. So all this line, or how to say, long waiting queue of when the house or apartment will be available for middle class people. They can talk about their plans about that. For example, large-scale programs of Доступное жилье 2020 or upgrade utilities, and also the contracts that renting people, they actually sign the contract with the owners of the house. So if in any case that the law can actually protect the people, renting people, and also the owners of the house who own the apartment and make it as a business should make sure that they pay the taxes and everything. So new outcomes, effective owner, it's modernization of the house program, and or also the modernization of the housing system, conditions of loan facilitated places, and also the building participation in the management of buildings, and also different programs that are being done. Actually, this group of students, they can decide if they would like to talk about little about all the programs, or if they would like to focus only on one program and make sure that the budget is being spent for that, and to talk about the plans of this special program or not. So as we mentioned before, there are 4 ministries, and all of them will be given time. So if in each group we have at least 5 people, it means that each of them should speak at least for 1 minute. Students can decide if their speeches will be connected, or they will all talk about like different programs. It depends on the plans and prospects of their ministry, exactly what they want to do. If the group decides to make a little presentation and talk using some different additional aids, it is also welcomed, and that's it. By the end of the lesson, they will be able to use 5 forms of future, talking about future, and that if in their speech teacher notices any errors or mistakes of not correct usage, again you can make a comment on that, and as you know, it's better to write it down for yourself first, and do not interrupt students while speaking. And you can give one-to-one feedback at the end of the speech, or in individual way. Thank you. That's it. That is the end of the lesson. Goodbye.